Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be discussing something a little bit different. Rather than the normal resale information to help you guys profit, instead today we're going to be talking about saving a little bit of money, because it's good to do both, of course. Specifically, in today's video, we will be discussing my personal top 10 back-to-school sneakers on a budget. We're going to be sticking to cheap sneakers that everyone can afford. I know a lot of you guys are heading back to university, high school, or perhaps just need a new casual Friday sneaker. So you got some profit from reselling, or perhaps just some spare money from work, and you want to look fresh for the low. 90% of friends and the females you're going to meet at university, they don't know what Off-White is. They don't know the difference between a hype sneaker and a general release sneaker. And if they do happen to only want a guy who's wearing Red Octobers, that's not the right girl anyway. So like I said, these will be my top 10 sneakers. These are sneakers I personally wear very frequently. And of course, if you do have any suggestions at all, feel free to leave them in the comments down below. This is one big community. Obviously, we're trying to help each other out, save some money. Kicking it off on the list, we have a sneaker that has been recently popularized as of 2020. However, there are so many colorways already that can be found at extremely cheap prices. Not only is this an extremely comfortable, lightweight sneaker, but it's different than what the majority of your friends will own. It'll stand out depending on the color combination of your choice. You can find these for around $120 in most sizes, just slightly above retail, and it'll certainly also add some variety to your collection. Now, on the contrary, if you're not so into looking different, why don't we discuss one that almost everyone will be wearing, the all-white Air Force One, the classic. Retails for only $90 and it can be found nearly anywhere from Nike to foot sites. Now, of course, for budget Air Force Ones, the colorways just go on forever. They've made a ton of colorways, and you could get them for around $90 to $120 in that range if you purchase them from the secondary market. However, I do suggest a white pair simply because the white colorway itself does stand out. However, it is also very universal, and you could simply match it with every single possible outfit. Now, granted, the black pair is also very universal. I understand it does match a lot of outfits, but it's, how do you say, it's just, I'm not exactly sure how to describe the black Air Force One. Black Air Force Ones simply just don't have the same comfort level, you know? And it just doesn't have the breathability of the white pair because the sun is being absorbed by the black color. You know, of course, you don't want your feet getting all sweaty and all that. Moving on, this is the ultra budget shoe. I'm talking about Vans. From $50 to $60 in the highs, sometimes ranging to up to $70. Vans are not the most comfortable sneaker, but they do look incredible on feet with shorts or jeans. The best part is that there are numerous designs, from old school to the slip-ons to the highs to the lows. Endless amounts of colorways. But anyway, while on the topic of very, very low budget sneakers, when I first started collecting sneakers and reselling sneakers back in 2013 to 14, these sneakers I'm about to mention were just like what you saw with Ultra Boost 2 or 3 years ago when the hype was crazy. Every single person you knew had a pair of Ultra Boost. These were essentially the same thing back then, and if you ask me, for the price, it's 100% worth it now. You can get these for $75. These are the Roshe Runs from Nike. I used to wear these all the time. They were extremely comfortable. Right now, I only have one pair left. I should have kept more, but they have a ton of colorways still. You can get them in the secondary market if you're really into those older colorways. My personal favorite used to be the Siren Red colorway. That one's probably going to be a little more rare to get, but you could still get plenty of the more basic colorways for still $75 or maybe slightly above, like $80 or so. They're extremely comfortable, super breathable, very lightweight, and you could use them for running or anything of that nature as well, of course. And they simply do look good with shorts or long pants, whatever it is. Moving on, for something just slightly more expensive than that, but still very cheap, Jordan 1 Low. Many are in stock for retail. However, in my opinion, the very best colorways you could select when it does come to the Jordan 1 Lows are sold out currently, even though a lot of them are restocking very consistently, such as the Game Royal Jordan 1 Low. You probably could snag those on a restock if you just follow Soul Links. Another plus when it does come to these is that they're a pretty solid investment too. Over time, Jordan 1 Lows do tend to hold their value very well. Now, obviously, when you're wearing a sneaker, you're probably not going to tend to sell it, especially if it's just a budget sneaker, but the essential point is it's certainly not a downside to have a sneaker that's going to increase in value over time. Perhaps you'll even be able to get your money back if you do happen to want to get a different shoe and you did happen to wear it often. That's just one extra perk. Obviously, it's not the main reason. You should just really love the colorway. Personally, I think that the Gym Red Jordan 1 Low is absolutely amazing. Then moving on, while still on the topic of Jordan 1s, we of course have the Jordan 1 Mids. How could you forget those? Although not quite as great as the High because they don't have the Nike Air, and honestly, a lot of these new colorways are absolutely beautiful. For example, the Chicago toe, and not only that, the same exact thing goes for the Chicago heel colorway, where it's just got the only difference being the white heel part in the back. And personally, I think it looks absolutely incredible. Very, very similar to a Chicago Jordan 1. Super easy to pull off since it's just a white, black, and red colorway as well. I would say if you were planning to get any Jordan 1, whether it be a mid or low, I would personally go with the Chicago Jordan 1 mid. Right now, they're sitting at around $130 or so in the secondary market. However, they do very, very frequently restock on foot sites, so there is a chance you'll be able to catch them for $115 as well. So I would definitely suggest looking out for those. I'm even considering keeping a personal those Chicago ones. I've got a ton of them I need to sell for around like $10 profit or so, but a lot of them I do plan on holding as well, because I could guarantee you when it comes to these Chicagos, the Chicago toes, even the gray mids, all these basic color blocking mids that are already profitable, around like 8 or more months, they will certainly be much, much more profitable. This has been a consistent pattern we've seen with lows and mids. Lows and mids are definitely some of the best holds you could have. By this, I mean it's much better to hold around 10 pairs of Jordan 1 mids in a good colorway in comparison to just one extremely hyped sneaker. I would not suggest doing that. I would rather hold a bunch of mids. Now, moving on from those, just around the same price, we have Prestos. Now, as of recently, they've really been trying to push out the React Presto. Extremely comfortable. They do have great technology in them if you do want to use them for athletic activities too. I'm personally not the biggest fan of these Reacts. However, I am a huge fan when it comes to the very old Prestos, and you can still find a lot of basic colorways for only around $120 to $130, one of which being the very old pair of the black Prestos. So you could match this with every single outfit, and when it comes to this one, you're not going to have the same problems as the black Air Force One. I know it's black and it absorbs sunlight, but just take my word for it. Now, moving on, potentially the most comfortable of all the sneakers that we're going to be discussing today is the Ultra Boost. You can find a ton of these colorways for way under retail. Retail on these Ultra Boosts is $180, but we're not going to be paying that, obviously. We're only going to be sticking to the colorways that are under retail, and the vast majority of these you are able to find for $135 to $140, sometimes $145, and a lot of these are very, very nice colorways, such as the Triple White 4.0 or even the Triple White 2.0. I believe on the 2.0, some of the prices are even at $120, which is an absolute steal for a dead stock pair of Ultra Boosts in all white. I would highly suggest picking up those if you really value comfort and you do want an all white sneaker, but any colorway will suffice, of course. It's all based on personal preference. Next up, we have a very, very cheap one, and this is going to be the Blazer Mid. You may recognize these Blazer Mids because you've seen the very, very popular Off-White collaboration on them. However, even though these aren't quite as nice as the Off-White pair, obviously, these are still very nice if you're into that vintage vibe, if you're into that old look, especially if you are a skateboarder and you're not a big fan of Vans. These would be my next go-to. Or if you work out at the gym a lot and you need a nice pair of sneakers to squat in, these are what I used to go to a lot. I used to wear Vans, Jordan 1s, and these. And finally, to end it off today, last but not least, we have the Air Max 270. You may be familiar with these because they recently had a collaboration for Travis Scott on them. I wasn't a huge fan of that colorway. However, a lot of the other colorways are extremely nice. My personal favorite pair is the Dusty Cactus one. Those released a very long time ago, but yet they still have been restocking them in 2020. So you could definitely get these for very, very low prices, under retail, even just over $100. I would definitely consider these if you also value comfort, but you really like that futuristic vibe to these. They're also extremely breathable. But anyway, guys, that will conclude it for today. Evidently, this isn't your typical video from me because currently I'm trying to save you guys money rather than trying to help you guys make money when it comes to reselling sneakers. But I did figure with school just around the corner, this would be something of use to you guys, or maybe at least just something to consider when purchasing any of these personal pairs. Also, I did leave all the links for all these sneakers for you to easily access. And regarding those links, I'm not sponsored by StockX. I'm not sponsored by any of those other companies. I'm strictly doing this just to help you guys out. But anyway, one final thing I wanted to end on. This is something I don't really get to talk about because I'm so focused on helping you guys profit. Stay in school, guys. You know, obviously keep your grades up. I know a lot of you guys have entrepreneurial endeavors. It's very, very popular in this sneaker community, of course. I think it's fantastic that if you're still in school, whether it be college or even high school, that you're already reselling, you're doing stuff on your own, finding your own ways to make money rather than just playing video games all day. But I do really think it's important for at least a public figure like myself to tell you guys it's extremely important to stay in school and to keep your grades up. It's something that I've done even throughout my years of selling candy from my locker. When I used to try to start my DJ business, I cleaned tables for 3 years and I was still ensuring that I kept my grades high. In fact, even though I run 2 groups, I sell Nike and Adidas accounts and I sell proxies too, regardless of all that, I still stay in school, I keep my grades high, and I highly suggest you do the same. Anyway, I just wanted to end on that note, just some advice, and if you're not doing it for yourself, do it for me. Do it for me. Anyway, feel free to leave a like if you did enjoy the video or you perhaps learned a thing or two. Also, subscribe and enable post notifications just to stay updated when it comes to actual hype sneakers rather than any of these bricks we just talked about. But feel free to subscribe and enable notifications if you are into reselling or if you just want hype sneakers for personal. With that, I'll leave you guys. Have a fantastic rest of your day. I'll see you guys later.